A massive alien spaceship suddenly appears near Earth, wreaking havoc as it approaches. High above the planet, astronaut Major Collins is aboard the International Space Station when the alien ship attacks. Collins manages to send a brief warning message down to Dr. Fielding at NASA before the station loses all power. In the chaos, Collins seals herself in an escape pod. As the station is destroyed, the pod hurtles toward Earth, carrying crucial information. Down on Earth, a shy and awkward boy named Alex arrives at the rim of the world's summer camp in Southern California. Alex is obsessed with space and technology, but he struggles socially ever since losing his father in a fire. His mother has sent him to this camp, hoping he can make friends and overcome his fears. He even constantly wears his late father's watch for comfort. At camp, Alex meets a few other misfit campers. Zhen, a quiet orphan girl from China who initially doesn't speak, Dariush, a loud, confident boy from a wealthy family, and later Gabriel, a mysterious kid who appears to be on his own. The camp counselors are eccentric and not much help in guiding the kids. During a zipline activity, Alex's fear of heights overwhelms him and a counselor mocks him for chickening out, causing Alex to run off in embarrassment. That evening, Alex seeks solitude by a bridge and finds Zhen there as well. They share a silent, understanding moment under the stars, hinting at a budding friendship. One night invasion begins. The next day, the campers head to a nearby lake for a canoeing activity. While waiting after an incident involving a soiled canoe delays the fun, Zhen wanders off alone into the woods. Alex follows, worried for her safety. He catches up to her at a scenic lookout point high above the camp, the same vista she'd admired on a camp brochure. As Alex tries to convince Zhen to return, they run into Dariush, who had also strayed into the woods. Dariush, ever the show-off, decides to cure Alex's fear of heights by dragging him to the edge of a cliff as a prank. Alex is terrified, but before anything worse can happen, a fourth camper, Gabriel, suddenly appears and intervenes. Gabriel punches Dariush to stop the bullying, and the commotion finally brings Zhen back to rejoin the boys. Just then, all four kids receive an emergency alert on their phones, an urgent evacuation notice, telling civilians to seek shelter immediately. Rushing back toward the lake and camp, the group notices everyone else has already vanished. Looking to the sky, they witness the unimaginable. Alien spacecraft are streaking through the clouds, and Air Force jets scramble to engage them in battle. A series of explosions boom across the sky as human aircraft clash with the invaders. Suddenly, an electromagnetic pulse, EMP wave from the alien attack knocks out all electronic devices, and the kids' phones go dead. Realizing they've been left behind in the evacuation, Alex, Zhen, Dariush, and Gabriel hurry to the main campgrounds in search of help. Back at the camp, they find the area deserted. The buses are gone, and a hastily written sign indicates everyone evacuated down the mountain. The only person left is one camp counselor, passed out drunk on spiked milk, oblivious to the danger. As the kids try to assess what to do, they hear a thunderous roar overhead. They run outside just in time to see a spacecraft pod hurtling out of the sky and crash landing nearby. Alex recognizes it as an escape pod from the International Space Station. Inside, they discover the badly injured Major Collins crawling out. With her dying breaths, Collins entrusts Alex with a pendant that contains a specialized key device, insisting he deliver it to Dr. Fielding at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, in Pasadena. She says this key holds the information needed to stop the invasion, mentioning something called Excalibur, and that it's the only way to destroy the aliens. The kids barely have a moment to absorb this mission before a towering alien creature arrives, accompanied by a fierce dog-like alien that seems to spawn from its larger body. The enormous alien grabs Collins from behind and kills her gruesomely, silencing her before she can explain more. The kids flee as the alien turns its attention on them. They take refuge in the camp's dining hall kitchen, trying to hide among the stainless steel counters. Dariush, panicking, accidentally knocks over a rack of utensils, alerting the smaller dog-like alien to their location. A frantic chase ensues through the kitchen. In the chaos, the children discover the alien hound is vulnerable to heat and steam. It slows down when passing a steaming dishwasher. Seizing an opportunity, Alex, Zhen, Gabriel, and Dariush work together to trap the snarling creature inside an industrial oven, slamming the door shut. But their victory is short-lived. The hulking mother alien smashes an arm through the wall, forcing the kids to scatter outside once more. The group splits to hide. Gabriel and Dariush duck under a stairwell, while Alex and Zhen end up in a foul outdoor latrine, holding their breath in a sludge of campground sewage to avoid detection. As the giant alien prowls the camp searching for them, the unconscious counselor stumbles into its path. In a darkly comic moment, the oblivious man relieves himself right where Alex and Zhen are hiding, but the alien promptly snatches him away and kills him, which, grim as it is, distracts the creature from the kids. Meanwhile, Gabriel and Dariush have sneaked into the crashed escape pod for cover. The dog-like alien, having escaped the oven, attacks again and nearly discovers Alex's hiding spot. At the last second, Gabriel manages to hit a control in the pod that ignites the pod's engines, blasting the smaller alien with a burst of flame. The creature screeches and dies, charred by the fiery exhaust. Enraged, the giant alien pounces on the kids, pinning them down. It spits a disturbing green goo onto Darius' face and begins extending a fleshy appendage into his mouth, possibly an attempt to implant something. Just as it nearly kills Darius, a strafing run from a fighter jet pelts the alien with gunfire. The alien is wounded and flees, giving the kids a narrow window to escape. In shock but alive, Alex and the others decide there's no going back. They must carry out Collins's mission and get the key to safety. Zengen takes charge for the first time, snapping the boys out of their panic by insisting they move out immediately. With the camp in ruins and no adults left to help, the 4 kids arm themselves with whatever supplies they can find. They take bicycles from the camp's shed to make their way down the mountain and find help. Alex admits he never learned to ride a bike, but with Gabriel steadying him, he manages to wobble along until he gets the hang of it. The group pedals through the wilderness, witnessing plumes of smoke on the horizon. When they reach a vantage point overlooking the city, they are stunned to see Los Angeles in chaos, buildings burning and streets destroyed. It's clear this invasion is widespread, not just at their camp. As they enter the city, they find it eerily empty of civilians. The kids head to a local sheriff's station, hoping to find police or working phones. The station has been evacuated and the power is out. In the dark halls, they discover a bulletin indicating that Los Angeles is under attack and extreme measures have been authorized, including the possible use of nuclear weapons. They also read that military units are searching for the alien's power source, hinting at how desperate the situation has become. While checking the jail cells, the group finds an inmate named Lou left behind. Lou pleads with them to be released, claiming he has a son out there waiting for him. Darius is skeptical and fears letting out a criminal, but Zengen argues they can't leave someone to die. Alex's compassion wins out. He leaves the cell keys within Lou's reach, telling him to free himself after they're gone. Within the police station, the kids ride on and soon encounter a squad of armed U.S. Marines in the streets. The soldiers surround the kids, but lower their weapons once they see they're just children. Relieved to find adults, Alex hands over the key to the Marine commander, explaining it needs to get to Dr. Fielding. The commander recognizes the importance of the key and promises to deliver it to the proper authorities. He then has the kids loaded onto a bus to evacuate them to safety. For the first time, Alex and his friends feel like they might be safe. Unfortunately, as the military convoy departs, an alien ship ambushes them from above. A barrage of plasma fire rains down, blowing up vehicles in the convoy. In an instant, the bus carrying the kids crashes and flips. Dazed, the children crawl out of the wreckage as battles rage all around. The injured bus driver urges them to run. They witness soldiers and aliens engaged in brutal combat nearby. One alien dog creature tears through the Marines. Amid explosions and gunfire, Alex spots the Marine commander pinned under debris. The dying commander presses the key back into Alex's hand, imploring him to protect it and save the world. Moments later, a massive explosion rips through the area, killing any remaining soldiers and narrowly missing the kids. Once again on their own, Alex, Zengen, Gabriel, and Darius take cover and regroup. Though shaken, they remain determined to fulfill the mission Collins gave them. Exhausted and anxious, the foursome makes their way on foot through the outskirts of the city. As they cross the San Gabriel Valley, Darius won't stop complaining about their dire circumstances, which leads to bickering among the boys. Zengen firmly calls for a break, and during this pause, Gabriel reveals a personal secret. His house is actually nearby, but he's afraid to go home. He admits that he ran away from juvenile detention, juvie, and had been hiding out in the mountains before stumbling upon them at camp. Gabriel explains he had landed in juvie after an incident at his mother's store. A customer accused him of stealing change from the register, not realizing Gabriel actually has dyscalculia, a learning difficulty with numbers. The misunderstanding escalated, and Gabriel lashed out, resulting in his arrest. He fears his mother might not forgive him, but with aliens patrolling the skies, the kids need a place to hide. They convince Gabriel to lead them to his family's house. At Gabriel's home, they find the place deserted. His family has evacuated, and looters have ransacked the rooms. Still, it's a relief to get a roof over their heads for a moment. The kids scavenge for food and bandages for minor injuries. As they settle in, the four share more about themselves, growing closer. Darius drops his cocky facade and confesses that his wealthy lifestyle was a lie. In reality, his family's car business went bankrupt, and his father is facing prison. His parents sent him to camp to avoid the fallout back home. Zengen in turn shares that she felt unwanted by her relatives in China. That night, a group of armed masked men break into the house. Their leader is Lou, the very prisoner Alex released earlier. Lou has tracked the kids, figuring they must have something valuable. Holding them at gunpoint, he demands Alex hand over the key, which he plans to sell to the highest bidder. The children refuse to give up the one thing that could save the world. Lou then pulls a knife and is ready to forcefully take it. At that very moment, the huge alien creature, the same one that attacked them at camp, suddenly smashes into the house from the darkness. The alien swiftly attacks Lu's henchmen, slaughtering them one by one. In the chaos, Lu opens fire on the alien, but is impaled and killed as well. The kids take advantage of the distraction. They make a break for the backyard. Gabriel grabs a couple of glow sticks, emergency light sticks, Jinjen had, and waves them to get the alien's attention. He lures the creature onto the covered swimming pool in the yard. The massive alien stomps onto the pool's surface toward Gabriel, but the vinyl pool cover can't support its weight. The alien plunges into the water, tangled in the cover. By daybreak, the group is closing in on Pasadena, weary but resolute. Tensions flare when Darius questions Alex's leadership, blaming him for their predicaments. Gabriel steps up to defend Alex, and the argument escalates to shoving. Jinjen forcefully intervenes, breaking up the fight. Overwhelmed, Darius finally reveals the pressure he's under, and the shame about his family troubles, which softens the others' attitudes. Just then, a crackle comes over the radio transceiver that Jinjen picked up from the wrecked military convoy. The signal is weak, but they recognize Morse code spelling out a message from Dr. Fielding at JPL, urging anyone listening to hurry. This motivates the kids to put aside their differences and push onward. Entering the outskirts of Pasadena, they pass a shopping mall and decide to stop for fresh clothes and supplies. After days of chaos, they're dirty and exhausted. In the mall parking lot, they find a functional red Ford Mustang with keys in the ignition. Seeing as Pasadena is still a distance away, the group decides to drive the car. Alex, ever the tech expert but inexperienced with driving, tries to take the wheel but discovers it's a manual transmission he can't operate. To everyone's surprise, Jinjen confidently steps in. She knows how to drive stick shift. With Jinjen now at the wheel, the four speed off down the highway, weaving around wrecked vehicles and debris littering the road. For a brief moment, the kids actually enjoy the thrill of driving and feel hopeful about reaching their destination. Their relief doesn't last long. Without warning, the persistent alien monster catches up to them again. It has escaped the pool trap and is hell-bent on retrieving the key. The alien leaps onto the car, its enormous weight denting the roof. It punches its clawed arm through the window, narrowly missing the kids as they scream. Jinjen swerves violently, managing to shake the alien off the roof momentarily by sideswiping a bus stop. But the creature is relentless. It jumps right back onto the hood, smashing the windshield with a furious blow. Realizing they can't outrun it, Jinjen yells for everyone to jump out. The kids fling open the doors and leap from the moving car just as Jinjen aims the Mustang toward the edge of an overpass. The car, with the alien still on it, hurtles off the highway and crashes onto the ground below in a heap of metal. The alien is caught underneath the wreck, pinned and seemingly defeated. Catching their breath, the kids celebrate surviving another encounter. But their victory is tempered by a sudden realization. In the chaos, Alex accidentally left the precious key behind on the front seat of the wrecked car. Worse, the alien beneath the car is still alive and starting to stir. Determined to fix his mistake, Darius musters his courage and insists on retrieving the key himself, since Alex saved him earlier. Despite a bleeding gash on his stomach from the alien's claws, Darius creeps back to the crash site. He reaches into the smoking, crumpled car and grabs the key. At that moment, the alien frees one of its arms and slashes at Darius, wounding him again. Gritting his teeth through the pain, Darius scrambles out of the alien's reach, clutching the key. He hobbles back to his friends, injured but triumphant. The four then limp the final distance to the JPL facility on foot as fast as they can, with the alien's enraged roars echoing in the distance behind them. 10 Final mission at JPL. At last, the children arrive at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, which is a primary NASA research center. The facility appears heavily damaged and eerily quiet. They cautiously venture inside the partly ruined lab building that Dr. Fielding had been using as a base. In one chamber, they make a grim discovery. Dr. Fielding is already dead, lying among debris. It turns out the Morse code messages were unintentionally being sent by the dripping of his blood onto a transmitter key. This disheartening scene almost breaks their spirit. Without Fielding, who will help them use the key? Just then, a voice crackles over a radio console. It's a U.S. Army general contacting them from NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command. The general, who is coordinating remaining defense efforts, is surprised to find kids on the line. He initially orders them to evacuate and find shelter. However, Alex grabs the radio and passionately explains that they have the key and are at the JPL lab. They are the only ones who can fire whatever weapon Dr. Fielding had prepared. Alex's determination convinces the general that these kids might be humanity's last hope. The general then guides them through what needs to be done. They learn that the key contains data to activate an experimental defense system codenamed Excalibur, a powerful Cold War-era orbital laser weapon built to destroy enemy motherships. The alien mothership is currently in Earth's orbit, controlling the invasion. If the kids can activate Excalibur and input the targeting coordinates from the key, they can shoot down the mothership and end the war in one blow. The catch: the facility's power is down, and the systems require multiple steps to activate. Following the general's instructions, the kids divide up tasks to execute the plan. Restore power. Zhenjian volunteers to crawl through an overhead vent shaft to reach the basement and start the emergency backup generators. Without power, nothing else can proceed. She takes Alex's watch to precisely time the generator reboot sequence. Align the satellite dish. Alex must face his fear of heights and climb up to the rooftop satellite array. He needs to realign the large communication dish to lock onto the alien mothership's coordinates, as provided by the key, for Excalibur's targeting. Input launch codes. Gabriel and a badly injured Dariush will remain in the control room to prepare the launch sequence. They have to insert the key into the main console, upload the coordinates, and then simultaneously enter a pair of numeric launch codes that the general relays to them. Timing is critical. The codes must be entered at the exact same moment to authorize the Excalibur firing. The basement, however, holds a frightening surprise. One of the alien's dog-like creatures is lurking in the darkness, perhaps released by the big alien to hunt her. Zhenjian barely avoids the snarling creature and slams a heavy door on it. The alien dog's paw gets caught, and in a burst of adrenaline, Zhenjian severs the creature's paw and locks the beast in the generator room, containing the threat. Above, lights flicker back on in the control center as power returns. Darius is weak from blood loss and collapses just after guiding Gabriel through inputting the coordinates. Gabriel, who struggles with numbers due to his dyscalculia, must enter the long launch code by himself while communicating with the general. He fumbles, misreading some digits, until a bruised but determined Zhenjian arrives just in time to help. Together, they each take one part of the code and successfully activate the Excalibur sequence. Up on the roof, Alex pushes through his vertigo and reaches the large satellite dish. Fighting his trembling nerves, he manually rotates the dish into the correct alignment. At that moment, the huge alien, having healed astonishingly fast yet again, climbs onto the roof to stop him. The creature attacks, nearly knocking Alex off the tower. The furious alien follows him, dropping through a skylight into the building. It crashes into the control room, where Gabriel, Zhenjian, and an unconscious Dariush are huddled. With the launch sequence completed, they have no way to fight the alien head-on, until Alex rushes back in to draw the creature's attention. Alex hurls a nearby object, his beloved Rubik's Cube toy, at the alien, and taunts it, then sprints away, luring the monster after him, and away from his friends. He leads the alien into a rocket engine testing chamber adjacent to the lab. Using knowledge from his tech obsessions, Alex traps the alien inside, and quickly initiates a rocket engine test cycle. The alien is momentarily confused inside the chamber, and Alex grabs a flare gun on the wall. As the alien lunges toward him, Alex fires the flare into the chamber's fuel inlet, igniting the rocket engine. A massive blast of flame erupts, engulfing the alien in searing heat. The creature shrieks and thrashes as it's burned alive, finally dying for good in the inferno. The fire also triggers secondary blasts around the facility. Alex is knocked down by the force and surrounded by spreading flames. Inside the test chamber, Alex briefly freezes. The roaring fire brings back the traumatic memory of his father's death in a house fire. For a moment, it's as if he's that scared little boy again. But he then remembers his father's final words encouraging him, and summons the courage to run through the flames. Wrapping himself in a fire-resistant tarp, Alex charges and leaps through a collapsing wall just as the chamber explodes, escaping by the skin of his teeth. He tumbles outside, alive and largely unharmed. His friends rejoice and pull him to safety, relieved and proud. At this point, the sky above lights up. Excalibur, now in orbit, fires a powerful energy beam. The beam spears through the alien mothership hovering above Earth and obliterates it in a brilliant explosion. The invaders' central command is destroyed. They've saved the planet. Victory and aftermath. Alex is reunited with his worried mother in an emotional embrace. The world slowly returns to safety, and news spreads of the quartet of brave children who delivered the key and enabled the victory.